most people in farm and ranch definitely have some hand in the farm and ranch industry, which I think is important because you've got to live it to understand it. So you've got to be part of the lifestyle. Farm and ranch, equine, all of it is really about living the lifestyle as well as working in the lifestyle. So it's learning from hands-on.
What are the top 7 ways someone might generate wealth from land?
You can lease it out to cell towers. I know that solar and wind is a big kind of negative sometimes in the farm and ranch industry, but there's that. You've got water rights, mineral rights. So if you're living in like West Texas where there's a lot of oil, you may be having a actual wind turbine where you're pulling a stream of revenue from. You could have a oil well on there. So there's many different streams. You can actually have a beekeeper. You, again, it has said cattle. You could have goats. You could have an equine therapy. There's so many different ways that in terms of what your ag or wildlife exemption can help besides saving on taxes on the land as well.
I think that's really important, right? Because most people are thinking like, hey, I've got to buy a building to have depreciation, but there's all these other I guess it's even the theme here is being creative with what's available and being aware. Talk about, how you were able to absorb or learn all of these things over the years and how you help your clients implement these things.
Gosh, jumping into it, I literally went to some of the old guys. When I say old farm and ranch guys, 10, 15 years ago, they were the guys that were 60 and 70 that are still doing it because they love it. Most people in farm and ranch definitely have some hand in the farm and ranch industry, which I think is important because you've got to live it to understand it. So you've got to be part of the lifestyle. Farm and ranch, equine, all of it is really about living the lifestyle as well as working in the lifestyle. So it's learning from hands-on. It's not an industry where you just say, oh, I'm going to go sell, farm and ranch. You've got to understand mineral rights. You've got to understand the water rights. You got to understand the air rights. There's so many different nuances in farm and ranch than just here's the land. You got to understand cross fencing. You got to understand the different types of soils. You got to understand if you're east or west of the state, what those soils actually have in terms of, are they able to grow crops? Are they better for, grapes? I mean, there's so many different facets of actually farm and ranch and land wealth.